Good evening and welcome to today's episode of Mindset Matters. This episode is quite a bit later than planned and on a completely different topic than I'd planned when I was going for my walk this morning, thinking about what I was going to discuss on today's Mindset Matters. Now, sorry, my screen just froze for a second. Another good example of what I'm going to talk about today. I was with a client this morning, and I'd had a couple of missed calls from my son, which is fairly unusual for him to call me more than once in one go. And it turns out he was on his way to hospital. He was at his rugby training at college this morning, had an accident in training, and consequently he's broken his wrist, and he wasn't sounding in a particularly good way when I spoke to him. So firstly, thanks to my clients that I had booked for the rest of the day, who have been really understanding when I had to reschedule my diary for today. But also, it kind of is a reminder of the fact that we can't always control what happens, that life has this ability and this tendency to throw obstacles and curveballs our way. And, these external factors are often things that we can't control, we can't influence. But the one thing that we do have the ability to control is the way we allow ourselves to react and respond to it, the way we allow ourselves to pick up from when these things happen. And I was only talking with the client I was with when the calls were coming through about this very thing. And to be honest, I have this conversation probably with the majority of clients at one point or another. I was doing a training for somebody last week, talking to their group. And there's a few business owners in the group who have been talking about how, they've got sick children at home that are stopping them from making progress, that, their own health, even myself, the last couple of weeks, as you probably heard on some of the other videos, had a bit of a stinky cold stroke man flu, which, got in the way of what I'd planned to get done over that time. Some curveballs are small, some are major, some are in between. Somebody else was having a nightmare with tech. That's why I kind of joked at the beginning, because as I started this, the screen froze and I temporarily lost connection. I get some things are more significant than others. I'm not making light of some of the curveballs and the life events that come up, but we still ultimately have a choice in what we do when these things come up. My son's gutted. He's only a few weeks into starting his course. He's just turned 17. He's just started his driving lessons. He loves his rugby. He's really enjoying the course that he's just started. But these things happen in sport and in life. And it's about the resilience, the adaptability, and the flexibility that we have in the way we brush ourselves off and we pick ourselves up and we keep going. Not always easy, granted. It's not always easy, but it's still a choice that we have within us. So just a kind of a little reminder that, when life does throw up things, which it always does at different times, plans can, we can have great, good intentions with plans, but stuff happens, life happens, things get in the way. We might have to postpone them. We might have to take a slightly different route. We might have to kind of recalculate and get back on track as soon as the opportunity allows us to. But don't give yourself a hard time for it. Just as one of my old mentors used to say, sadly no longer with us, deal with what emerges. Often we spend too much time worrying about things that don't happen or don't come to fruition. But when things do happen, just deal with them and take them face on and do what you can. And the same message I've been sharing over the last, day 25, over the last 25 days is about looking after yourself and managing your kind of yourself and your state, and keeping yourself topped up and charged, and keep yourself in the best possible place you can. When we talk about how we feel, sometimes things take more from us, and we need a bit more time to kind of regroup, to recover, to pick ourselves back up. But yeah, I still wanted to jump on today. This evening, my son's a bit more comfortable. He's still in a lot of pain. He's still got a bit of a journey ahead. We're not quite sure. Fingers crossed. He won't need surgery, but we won't know that until tomorrow or until he has another X-ray next week. But deal what's in. He will, as we will, have to deal with what's in front, and keep moving forward. So yeah, just wanted to share that thought for today, really, that all of us, none of us are robots, none of us are immune to life events and curveballs that can kind of interrupt our flow. So just remember that sometimes when the going gets tough or things happen, you might not be able to control that thing, but when the time's right, when you're ready to, you've got that choice to choose and decide how you pick yourself up and how you move forward. So I hope if you needed to hear that today, that's been useful for you. And I'll be back again tomorrow, hopefully back on schedule with what I had planned for you today. But enjoy the rest of your evening, take care, and I'll speak to you again soon. All the best.